Hanging is carried out in Iran, Japan, Jordan, Pakistan, Singapore, and is still available in 2 states in America. Michael has come to a crash test lab in Bedfordshire to meet Professor of Medical Engineering Len Noakes, an expert in the mechanics of hanging.
Just walk over here, Michael. Thought you'd find this interesting. Recognise the shirt?
Yeah, it's my shirt. You've made him look like me.
I would say he's roughly your weight, and what we'd like to do is hang him. So, would you mind putting the noose around your own neck?
I don't have much experience with this one.
Well, just slot it on top first, and then just, yeah.
Short drop hanging was the standard form of execution up until the late 19th century. Prisoners were dropped from a very short height and were slowly strangled to death. But then the British developed a method designed to be more humane.
I'm going to show you the science, or supposed science, behind British hanging. They constructed a table about 1886, and this is it. Now, if we were going to hang you, again, Michael, using this table, I need to know what your weight is.
About 200 pounds.
200 pounds, easy. 200 pounds. Let's go for 196 pounds.
Yeah, that's very kind.
Look across, and we have to now drop you through a height of 6 foot 5 inches.
The experiment is looking to deliver an instantaneous and humane death by completing the hangman's fracture.
The classic hangman's fracture happens between the 2nd and 3rd cervical vertebra. The idea is that you fracture that joint and you pull them all apart. And by disrupting it, the joint like that, you cause damage to the spinal cord and the brainstem. Very important, because if the brainstem is damaged in any way, it controls your heartbeat and your breathing.
Even if it doesn't snap the spinal cord, even if it just tugs it very violently, there's a good chance that will stop your heart and stop your breathing.
Correct.
With the aid of high-tech slow-motion cameras, Professor Noakes can now analyse the effects of the drop on the body and conclude whether or not British hanging is indeed humane.
Phil?
3, 2, 1, release.
Wow. That's a lot of energy.
That's a lot of energy.
Body comes down a long, long way. Oh, my goodness. It nearly takes the head off there, doesn't it? It lifts this head all the way.
That's a perfect illustration. I would be highly surprised if you didn't get the necessary damage to the cervical cord and the brainstem, given what I've just seen.
So we found a humane way of killing people.
Well, if we could do that 100% of the time, the answer to that would be yes. But that doesn't always happen, because it depends on the anatomy of the individual.
Right.
You and I have different neck sizes. You and I have different muscle bulk. We may weigh the same, but our anatomy is totally different.
But there is one way to guarantee immediate death, and that's to extend the rope's length. Professor Noakes' team has adjusted the dummy's metal neck to demonstrate the effect this would have on the human spine.
I've added this amount of drop.
Okay.
That's all.
3, 2, 1, release.
Oh, God. Ah, that is foul. Dear,
And
dear.
that's with just a couple of feet more on the drop height. I think in slow motion it'll even be more spectacular.
Wow. It just takes the head off. So it's just completing the fracture of the vertebra.
It's ripping everything apart.
This is what happened to Saddam Hussein's brother, presumably.
I believe so.
Hanging is so dependent on individual physiology that there have been cases of decapitation even with the use of the British table. To complicate matters further, different countries use different tables to calculate the rope's length.
I just want to show you the differences between the American and the British tables.
Right. So these are people of the same weight. And you're saying that the Americans would hang him, what, 2 feet longer?
That's right. We've already seen the difference that 2 foot can make
Yes.
to the drop height and the consequences.
Yeah.
which one of these is the correct one?
You tell me.
I can't, and I'm the scientist. There is an extreme lack of science into these two tables.
But you're telling me that even in the 21st century, with all our scientific knowledge, we couldn't now devise a foolproof table?
There's too many variables, too many, and I just don't think we could ever produce a perfect table.
Methods of execution have always mirrored the scientific advances of the age.